Hi, I'm going to share a condensed version of my testimony with you today. Being able to find true salvation through Jesus Christ depended largely on my ability to understand what that meant. The salvation prayer is not a feeble thing to be taken lightly. It is, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the most important decision any person can make in their life. So when I was younger, around, I don't know, maybe 8 to maybe 10 years old, not sure exactly how old, I went to a church camp in the summer with one of my friends that I had been invited to. Now, around this time, my mother had quit bringing me and my sisters and brother to church regularly, which used to be what she did, but then she kind of fell off from it. And we became the kind of people that just went on Easter and Christmas and that kind of thing. So I went to this church camp with my friend and didn't really have a very broad knowledge of salvation or even of like the relationship part of salvation, which I feel is the most important part. So I didn't have much knowledge, and they had an altar call at the church camp, of course, and invited everyone that wanted to ask Jesus into their heart. So I went up and I prayed this prayer, which really was kind of more like a simple prayer from a child, not really understanding in depth what it meant or what I was doing, or what it meant if I didn't do it, really. So that kind of led to a rebellious teenage years and just kind of led me looking to fulfill my life in a life of darkness. I was trying to fill a God shaped hole that with sin, basically, and that just simply can't be done. So I was unsatisfied, of course, and unsettled and just depressed and just searching for something that I didn't know what it was. I obviously lost sight of who God was during this time, and I lost sight of the fact that I am His child, I am His creation. And I was very confused about religion. I was terrified of making the wrong choice about which, who to follow or what to follow. So I ended up camping out kind of in the agnostic area, just saying I believed in a higher power, but, was not picking, which essentially is the same thing as just picking the enemy. But, of course, I did not know that. I did not realize that. My crazy teens ended up with me having two children as a teenager. And soon after that, I realized I did not want to go to hell. I wanted to go to heaven, and so I claimed more of a Christianity type relationship, just as a get out of hell free card, basically. But I was not living the life at all. I was still confused, very lost. And it was around this time that I met my husband, who was also kind of not living a Christian life, but was totally claiming to be a Christian. So it was kind of, hypocritical. So when we met, I was kind of more not so much in the partying phase that I was in, the partying and drugs and promiscuity. I kind of left all that behind, but was still very lost. And so we kind of completed each other kind of like a puzzle. And through conversations with him, he had a lot more knowledge. So he taught me a lot about the book of Revelations and the second coming of Christ. And through that, I was encouraged, him and I, to attend church together and bring in my two kids, and which became his kids because they were, he was daddy from day one. It was just kind of cool how it happened that way. Um, but anyway, we went back to church together, and he was very encouraging. I started learning about a relationship with Jesus and not just, a prayer as a get out of hell free card. So, learning all these things, in early adulthood, I believe that is when my true salvation came. I fully repented and I recommitted my life to Jesus. And my husband then got baptized with me because I was very nervous because I had never done it before. And I believed I was washed, and it just was a life changing experience for me, totally. And because once I had a full understanding of what a relationship with Jesus actually was, I was able to find that true salvation in Him. And my life has just been growth ever since. And my Father has changed me from the core.